Okay, Virgo, what's going on? This is the fate and delusion versus separation and imagination. If you have this nodal axis in your natal chart, okay, North Node in Virgo, South Node in Pisces, or Rahu in Virgo, Rahu in the 6th house, okay, Ketu in the 12th house, I only have 10 fingers, or Ketu in Pisces, you want to check this out. You also want to check your Vedic chart, all right? So if you, in your Western chart, you feel like you don't have this, check your Vedic chart, and then check your D1, your D9, your D10 at a bare minimum, and there's like 20 more charts, but I recommend those at the bare minimum. Check those 1, 2, 3, they're probably some of the most important, and you probably have this nodal axis either in the 6th house, North Node, and you heard the rest. So with this being said, this is your AstroShaman inspiring brilliance. Ladies and gentlemen, actually hit the thumbs up and the likes button early with spiritual accountability and occult practices. And so this is us doing this in the membership. When we did this particular class, you can check the PDF resources on my website and get that stuff downloadable. When I finish all 12 zodiac signs for this, I'm going to go ahead and make announcements and bring and put it all together and package together so you can have the understanding of all the nodes and become an astrologer and learn this for yourself and understand that the North Node, South Node are the most fated points. So Virgo North Node, here's one of the things you got to realize for the headlines that we did in our membership. You have a natural inner sense of helplessness. So this, you got to also check your Virgo, check your house to see what area specifically, okay? Because in your past life, what happened, you were a monk, you were in a monastery, you were in a school off the grid in the middle of the forest, in the jungle, all right, in the middle of the mountains. You lived in isolation. You did multiple lifetimes of dissolution of your ego through art, through music, through different forms of silence, and taking vows of silence, taking vows of celibacy. You did this and you let go of your sense of self, your sense of pride, your sense of ego. You let go of all forms of arrogance, and that's what Pisces does to the ego, okay? Look at the sun being in the Pisces equates to what? Being ruled by the 6th house, which is literally getting rid of all the faults in your ego. So this is your past life with Ketu and Pisces, okay, or Pisces in the 12th house. And so there's this natural inner sense of helplessness, and one of the things that you're going to realize is you're going to have a natural disorientation energy by default. Like, you're going to just wake up and you're going to just be disorientated. And again, because in past lives you had people bring you breakfast, you had people ring the bells, doom doom doom, and you didn't care what time it was. So you have a natural sense of timelessness, right? Where the bell really means that it's 7 o'clock, it's time to wake up and do prayer, it's time to wake up and do qigong, but you don't even know it's 7 o'clock because you let go of all sense of reality. And Virgo is reality, so you're stepping in to reality in this particular life cycle. So there's a natural sense of disorientation, and you're going to realize that one of your major needs is to set routines for yourself. Now you are actually free. Now you are not bound to the rules, structures, and regulations of your spiritual community that you took refuge in, but you have to now, North Node and Virgo, Rahu and Virgo, Rahu in the 6th house, step into society and start to participate into the cities. So you, with this neural axis, you realize that if you came and you grew up in a very isolated place, or a place full of nature, a place full of, love and peace and calmness and quiet, you're likely going to be walking into the chaos in this life. You might be going to a major city. You have this pull where, man, I got to move to LA. Man, I need to move to Bangkok. Man, I want to move to Berlin and get involved. So you might have this energy and get involved into a society. So the key thing with this, in order for you to sustain, is you got to really set routines, you got to set habits, and you got to start waking yourself up on time. You got to start having a very set routine. And one of my charts, I have this, and I realized that when I don't set my routine and do my thing, when I'm lost, I wake up lost. But now I don't, because I wake up on a routine. But when I wake up and I feel like, what am I doing? Sometimes I just walk back and forth. And I'm like, where am I going? What am I doing? And I'm like, you know what? Back to the routine. And I go right back to the morning routine. And then I'm set up and I'm ready to go and activate the day. So I have this nodal axis, and I'm telling you, like, it's something that deals with self-doubt, something that deals with the sense of inadequacy. And a lot of that is because, again, in past lives, you were that monk, you were that spiritual guru, and everybody bought you food, everybody bought you blankets, they bought you shoes. You didn't have to worry about any of the daily tasks, all right, other than what you were told to do. You're told to sweep at 12 o'clock, so you sweep the temple, right? So just be careful with this axis with very much excessive withdrawal. It's what you naturally look to do, especially when you get confused, because when you got confused, that you would withdraw and you would go inward and you would start examining yourself. And that was powerful because you would find the answers and resolutions inside of yourself, inside of your soul, and then the outside world would respond to it. But that doesn't work in this particular light. You have to actually address and deal with the issues externally, outside of you, with the people that you meet and the people that participate with you, not going inward first, but teach people, okay? With this Rahu in the 6th house, you now want to teach people as the student and the teacher, okay, as the master and the guru, but also the humble one. Teach people how to go inward, how to examine themselves, how to get to the deep resolutions, to have permanent resolutions, rather than more like Virgo, which is a resolution and a cure and support right now in this exact moment. Okay, so as I look at this, you know, Rahu in Virgo really wants you to go ahead and participate in life, and it wants you to participate in a way where you start actively dealing outside of yourself, externally, with the problems and the issues that are in front of you. And you're naturally not going to want to. You're naturally going to be afraid. Your natural inclination and instinct is going to say, oh, I'm going to focus on non-action, because if I just do nothing, this will solve itself. And that worked in your past lives, and you spent a lot of lifetimes trying to do that as a South Node in Pisces or South Node in 12th house. But in this lifetime, it's not going to work. Okay, in order for you to become more confident, you're going to have to experience life, experience what you have not experienced, and you only gain confidence and expertise as that thing, that profession, that specific, you know, occupation that you choose. You only become the expert with experience, not by dreaming yourself and putting yourself in your imagination and your fantasy and thinking, I want to be a neurosurgeon. And then you're a neurosurgeon. In past lives that worked, but you worked in the harmony realms. You worked in the realms where there was tremendous and extreme bliss, and things happened at the second you thought it. But they were not physical. Okay, they were in the realms of spirit. They were not in the mundane realms of Virgo. So that doesn't work. So you have to realize that it's time in this life to use your guidance and your wisdom from all those spiritual realms. All right, and the occult knowledge and understanding on the deep self, the soul, to actually bring purity, as be the virgin, the symbol of it in this life, and realize that you're going to cross a lot of people who are going to hurt your feelings in this life. They're going to make you feel inadequate. They're going to make you feel like you're less than, because you're coming from such a pure place where you operate in all the realms of harmony, and Earth is not a harmony realm. Okay, this is not it. Like, you hear sirens in the background right now. So Ketu wants you to separate from not planning, not acting, and not obeying your design. It says that success is only possible for you in this life, in the physical world. Okay, so I also want you to separate from the fantasy, separate from the delusion, and instead use the ability to help others dive into their fantasy, depending on who and what they are. So one of your biggest natural Achilles heels is a natural sense of selflessness. I won't say that's your Achilles, that's a strength, but helplessness is what I actually wanted to say. You do have a natural selfless ability and skill set. But the South Node, or Ketu in Pisces, is natural sense of helplessness, and you start thinking like, oh, if I just go ahead and surrender, which is easy for you and hard for the people in the world, if I surrender, then there will be order. Okay, if I just hope that this works out, then it will work out. And South Node in Pisces, like, nope, that doesn't work like that, because you're here to let that go. You have to actively participate and get involved in the issues and the problems and the day-to-days. Okay. All right, so one of your illusions is that confusion is a good thing. And, you know, naturally, when you're going through a confused state, like right now on Earth, we're on Earth, when we're going through a Neptune transit and the moon in Pisces goes over Neptune in Pisces, right? This is a natural state of confusion. This is good for humanity, because this allows us to dissolve the boundaries and the physical barriers that we think we see, aka illusions, and see in a different way, in a way that only the confused state can get us closer to where we're supposed to be, in the path and direction we're supposed to take. So you, as a Pisces in the South Node, you know how to handle that. But, and here's the issue, in the North Virgo and North Node, it's like, nah, confusion is a bad thing. You got to set your routine. You got to get your agenda going. You got to write down your tasks for the day. You got to set timelines and be like, 12 o'clock, I'm going to eat breakfast. You know, 1:30, I'm going to make that phone call to my mom. You know, 8 o'clock at night, I'm going to go ahead and meditate and do my breath work. You need that, because in your past life, you had other people tell you what to do. In this life, you don't. So again, one of your past life, you know, you really hit an elite level of spiritual awareness, and I feel like that's, you also had a tremendous amount of abundance. You were considered the wealthy one, but wealth wasn't a physical and monetary thing. In this life, you're here to gain physical and monetary wealth, but you will have to work for it. You're not going to just be able to dream it like you were in past lives. You have to work for it, and you have to, you know, consistently chip away and be persistent and be very resilient along the way, and take care of your physical body. Your physical body comes back in this world very, very weak. If you ever met a monk, they just sit all day long. They eat very bad food because people give them sugary foods. They give them people are coming to you who are of the lower world, not in a negative bad way, but the lower world meaning they're poor. You're healing and you're working with the poorest of people, and you're doing it for free. You're doing it for no finance, no money, nothing. And people just give you out of the goodness of their heart because you're giving out of the goodness of your heart. And that worked in that perfect society in your last life. In this life, you got to get the money. You got to start learning that you're worth the chicken. You're worth the monetary gains, the home, the physical assets and resources, you know, the iPad, the cell phone, the physical things, the gadgets, the gear to help your profession. Okay, if you're the knife, if you're a surgeon, the scalpel, you need these things. All right, the education to go be a doctor, the degree, you need these things in this particular life. All right. So one of the things you're here to develop is learn to take your vision from past lives and put it into the physical world. And that 111 on screen, look at that vision, manifestation, baby, from my Virgo North Node. Okay, Rahu in the 6th house. You're here to develop a vision. Okay, so we talked about your major need, which is to go ahead and participate in life, participate in society. Your natural instinct is to daydream and just you know, give up. Okay, that's one of your natural instincts, that when things get hard, you give up. But with Virgo in the North Node, you actually need to work harder when that happens and gain the experience and gain the confidence. Your confidence is one of your destined energies for this life. And if you don't get this life, you have to do it again next life and next life and next life. And it may take you 1,500 lives to get this, because you come from so many lives of you didn't need and require confidence. Okay, you don't need confidence to be meditating and be in the realm of spirit. All right. So one of your superpowers naturally is going to be compassion. I would say inward self-examination. You can examine yourself like nobody else. All right. And that's one of the beautiful things. So I would say that when you wake up and you rise, you got to really learn to discriminate from reality versus fantasy. And I've dealt and struggled with this. I told you I have this access probably my whole life. Like I've had plenty of times where I really don't even know what the hell is fantasy, what's reality. Like I really, really have struggled with this. And it's something that when you wake up, you know, now that you're here listening to this video, it's something you can actually naturally work on. I tell you again, my routine is one of the things that help me understand, oh snap, I need to do a certain amount of things. Like, you know, taking care of plants is one of the things that will help you a lot. That's a routine. They're dead. When the plants are dying, it's letting you know that you're dying and you're not taking care of your day-to-day activities. When you're keeping your plants alive and they're growing, it's letting you know you're doing something well and you're growing from the inside out, but from the outside in. And beyond that, I have some affirmations and self-reflection questions. So, you know, by the time you don't download the PDF for this particular thing, or you look to join our membership, or you join it, when we finish all 12, you'll have this stuff, and you'll have the affirmations. You have self-reflection questions. I have a bunch right here. You have obviously so much more. You'll learn your Achilles, you'll learn your needs, your superpowers, your past life at a deeper level, all of that. So thank you for hitting the likes and the thumbs up button, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you. I appreciate you for being here. This is your AstroShaman, inspiring brilliance with spiritual accountability, and that's what we're doing in our membership. The meditation, the qigong, the breath work, the ruin magic, you know, all kinds of stuff. Okay, all kinds of stuff, the affirmations, all kinds of stuff, and all occult practices. So hit the thumbs up and the likes button if you enjoyed this. I appreciate you. We're continuing the series on. We're almost done. I love you. I'll see you soon.